Welcome to Vidago TV. My name is LaRon Brown, and I am joined by a special guest. She was the spokesman for the great Joe Biden, and she's joining me today on Vidago TV live. This is Miss Karine Jean-Pierre. How you doing, Miss Karine?
Oh, I'm just great today. I'm just
Uh
great
huh.
today.
And
Uh, Excuse me.
I seen that you was on the View. Could you tell me about your experience being on the View with Whoopi Goldberg?
It was enlightening. It was different. But she is so real, and I really enjoyed, the co-host of The View is one of my favorite pastimes, and is also one of Joe Biden's favorite pastimes. Sometimes we have actually sat together and watched The View,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm quite sure he's watching The View quite often now that he
Mm-hmm.
is, no longer the president. But do
But well,
you
let's.
mind showing me the clip?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Matter of fact, I want to get your thoughts on this right here. Let me go ahead and play this for you.
Karine Jean-Pierre made history during President Biden's administration as the longest serving female press secretary,
Really?
as well as the first black female person, human
Yes.
being, first immigrant, and first only LGBTQ plus person.
I mean, first immigrant and LGBTQ plus.
I guess that's DEI in action.
Appointed to the
Okay.
position. She's everything.
Yeah.
And we're thrilled that she's here with us today for her first post DC interview.
Yeah.
Please welcome Karine Jean-Pierre.
Thank you.
Before I get on into it, I gotta ask you a question.
Sure.
How relieved were you when you was finally able to leave the White House and say, "I ain't gotta tell no more lies"?
Wow, that's not fair. That's not fair because, if you're a politician, you're a professional liar. So everyone lies, okay, to get your point across, to advance your agenda. So you just become a professional liar with a straight face and facts as you see it to back up your stories. So, it was a relief that now I could basically just be myself and just talk my truths and how I see things, opposed to, expressing someone else's view, because that's what you do as a press secretary. You mainly, express um, express your bosses, or should I say, the president's view or the secretary of defense. Depends on who you're the press secretary for. So as far as personal views, it never gets communicated, because that's not what you're there for. You're there to advance his agenda or her agenda. So it's a relief now. Don't get me wrong. I really, really enjoyed, the position. I enjoyed meeting the press. Oftentimes it was very challenging, but you know, that's why I was there. That's why I was selected, because I was able to answer the questions, be convincing. And now that, post DC, I could just be myself. So, hey, it's good. But I wouldn't mind doing that again for another president or secretary of defense. There
Will it
you
be
have it.
Republican or Democrat? You gonna stay with the Democrats?
Well, I never said which party I'm affiliated with. I'm going to go with the ones that have the policies that I push. Okay. So, what
Uh
can I
huh.
say?
And so, what about when it was like the evidence was there that what has been said turned out to be untrue, and you had to explain that situation without totally butchering it? You know, when the press came and they came after you, I mean, what were those things that you had to deal with those situations?
Well, basically, like I said, one of the qualifications to be a press secretary is to lie convincingly. So it wasn't hard to do that. I just made sure that I had my script in my packet, and um, I guess what you don't know is that we see the questions before we actually go out there. We already know who we're going to select. We know what question they're going to ask, so we're always prepared. We always have a prepared answer. Sometimes it's spontaneous, but you're still on the same track, and that's why you're in that position.
Yeah, that's great. So now I want to check you out on The View. You ready for this?
Sure.
All right, here we go. Look, it's so beautiful.
Joy has the first question, but
Thank you.
when Stephen was leaving, she said, nice to meet you, nice to meet you. I disagree with you.
Yes, I do.
And I was curious, and so that's why I was
I
curious.
do, on the mandate, on Donald Trump and his administration having a mandate. And we have to be super mindful and careful of this because he does not have a mandate. And what I mean by that is if you look at the numbers, just look at the facts. He won with the smallest margin of the popular vote since the 19th century. There was no coattail.
Oh,
Now, how could that be if all the states were red? How could he win with the smallest popular vote? Now, see, that's a blatant lie. I mean, the facts is that the whole map was red. So I don't understand. Did she just lose her mind when she lost, now that she is post DC? Serious.